All right. So my name is Osikeniyansa Stephen Kwesi. I was enrolled into HSE prep year in 2023. I joined in October. First of all, I'm supposed to study at the economic faculty, study economics. Um, I joined HSE mainly because I had a scholarship to study at HSE, and it was through this it was through this Olympiad program that you guys are applying for. And for me, it's a blessing to study over here. I'm very glad I took part in the Olympiads rather, and then I was able to get a scholarship to study here. The prep year is very important to us. With the programs listed, you're supposed to study in Russian, and this is why it's important to take the prep year seriously. I have really benefited from the prep year program. I came here with like only 1% or 0.1% knowledge of Russian, and today I'm able to communicate in Russian, read, participate in meetings and stuff like that, and it's actually a blessing. So that's why I'll encourage you to take the prep year program very seriously. Why should you learn Russian? I think like Russian is a very, very important language. If you study Russian, I'm telling you, like you can do any other thing because it's a very good process of multitasking your brain at the same time because while you are speaking, you are calculating what to say next, which padage to use, which case to use. It's a very important thing. And I think it's a very good exercise for everyone. When I arrived in HSC, I only knew how to use the basic knowledge of, or I only had a basic knowledge of Russian, how to say hello, how to say how are you, how to respond to the simple things. But then, honestly, when I arrived, I met the best people that I've met in my life. I won't lie to you, I'm not just saying it just for fun, but all my life, when you're in class, there are people that you never had like a very united class, you never had a very united group. But when I came, my lecturers, every single one of them is just so nice. Every single person I met, the first day I arrived in HSC or at the Prokrovka campus, which was just shown to you guys, we went to the prep year office. We took our card, and then I went to class. I went to class late. I was expecting the teacher to be rude or something like that. No, I didn't even have a pen. Can you imagine? But then she offered me a pen, and then we started studying. We started with the letters, the alphabet, started studying. And then she was very nice. On that day, we went for a tour around the campus, showing us every important place where to get coffee, where to get this, and where to get that. And that day, through the tour, we were able to, get know each other. Students from Pakistan, from Indonesia, from China, from Nigeria, from Botswana, like several countries. We were just in a group. At that time, we were 13. Later, we had the students from South Africa join us. We had another one from Ethiopia join us. So it's just an international community where all of you are together. There are students who are studying their master's program. There are students who are studying for the bachelor's program. And it's a very intensive course, very interesting. You have fun. You're able to it's like studying and having fun at the same time. I don't I can't say it's just for my group because every other group has a similar learning strategy. We study the first two periods and then later we practice it. It's so much fun studying Russian, and I hope you will be able to pass your Olympiad tests to be able to get a scholarship and participate in this because it's a very great experience to have. Russian language is a very I won't say complicated. It's a very complex language where you need to study, and while studying, there's a possibility that you might get dull, or you can get tired, or you can get too confused. And I think the prep year gives you the best way to study the Russian language. Just like you see Duolingo, you have games and stuff to be able to study the Russian language. In HSC, the lecturers will give you it's not even, I don't even see them as lecturers because it's like they are teachers. They teach you the Russian language. They don't just lecture you. They don't just say this, that, and do. No, they break it down to the smallest, the most minute detail and explain it to you, and then you practice it. Everybody is able to work with it. On the first day, you can tell that this is difficult, but by the end of the week, you can tell that wow, this thing that looked like a big task, I'm able to practice it. I'm able to remember the past tense. I'm able to remember the case. And it is a very, very interesting thing. And I'll encourage you all to, join. In HSC, we have 4 modules. We have the first, second, third, and fourth module. In the first module is basically learning the basics of Russian, what we already learned from Duolingo and before coming. You practice it, you perfect it, you learn like possession and every other thing. Then in the second module, you have what we call now Chinese, is kind of academic writing. It's to help you know the academic language used in various subjects. For instance, in mathematics, in English, sorry, not in English, in mathematics, in social studies, in economics, in every other subject, the kind of necessary technical words to use, the phrases to use whenever you are studying these subjects, those phrases that you meet often. Yes, so that's where it's also necessary. Then in the third module, you start with the main courses themselves. So even though you are studying Russian language, you'll be studying the academic language aside, and then you'll be having math classes where they are to prepare you for the mathematics you are going to meet in HSC. There are lots of theories and lots of uh, things that we know in mathematics, but in Russia, there are more easier ways to approach mathematics, and you are being taught in Russian language because in your program you are going to study in Russian language, and you need it to be able to study. So you get to know the mathematical terms, how it is used, how we say we multiply, how we combine these things, how we factorize. All these things are important, and it is very useful. You study economics, you study I'm forgetting one of them, but I think social studies, economics, mathematics. I think there's one of them which I've forgotten. If I remember, I'll say it. So by the time that you will be done with your prep year, you would have made a lot of friends. You have good connections with people that you have not met. And it's quite interesting. It's like only the nice people come to HSC. It's interesting because we have these Russian language clubs. We have also the cinema clubs. So in these clubs, they are held like once every month. We meet in a particular room where we just have fun with Russian language. We study about Russia, the beautiful sceneries, where to visit. It depends on the situation. I wish I pulled up my present. I can't find it, but I would have showed you some of the nice pictures that we had, especially on Christmas. I think on Christmas Day, in Russia we celebrate Christmas on first, but in the actual Christmas Day for us who come from Africa, especially Ghanaians over here, is 24th and 25th. And on this day, we had a beautiful Russian language session, Russian language club session. It was one of the nicest. Everybody was there. We took pictures. We had so many fun uh, activities, and it was one of the nicest experience I've had since I came to Russia. One of the nicest. The following day, we there's also like I think I don't know if it's mandatory, but it's part of the course outline that you are going to go on excursions in Russia. So we visited uh, one of I think that's the best period I've had in Russia, honestly, because we visited an exhibition I think at Vedenha. It's a very nice exhibition. We learned about Russian, every single region, everything they did. So the prep year, it's a full package. It's not just coming to learn Russia. Trust me, you're not coming to just learn Russian language, but you are coming to study about the country. You are going to have fun studying Russian language over here. And it's not just hype. I'm not just flattering you guys, but it's going to be a nice experience. And after that, when you are going to study for your main course, you'll be confident, you'll be comfortable speaking Russian with other people. I came here every time I meet someone, they're like, when did you come to Russia? I'm like 10 months ago. And you're like, wow, you speak so good Russian. I've said, thanks to my lecturers, thanks to HSC for what they have done for us. It's a very beautiful experience. And you can see over here, I have HSC souvenirs. Yeah, they give you lots of souvenirs over here. My pen over here is HSC Prep Year pen. The book is Prep Year book. Like everything is like it's just an amazing experience, and I'll encourage each and every one of you to try your possible best to come here. It's secured, it's safe, it's fun, it's financially comfortable. When you finish, I think maybe Ozana will tell you about the stipends package or whatever, but that's a later thing. But if you're able to participate in the Olympia, you get extra stipends, and everything is quite, comfortable for you to have the best studying experience in Russia. Thank you.
Steven, would you mind to tell about a little bit about your Siberia? If I don't mistake, you went to Siberia, right?
Oh yes, yes, yes. How did I skip that? All right. So yes, back in I think February, my lecturer informed me that there's a conference that is held in Tomsk, a city in Siberia. It's one of the most historical cities in Russia. Oh, one of the best experience I had since I came here. We went to Tomsk to have this conference. It's a gathering of all the universities in Russia that have what's the name? Prep year programs. So prep year students, we met students from Mongolia, from Japan, from South Africa, several countries. We gathered over there. We're going to make our presentations on our ideas. I made a presentation about cryptocurrency in Africa. I had a friend called Edgar. He's from Puerto Rico in the US. It's a territory of the US. We went together. We went with one of our lecturers. Brilliant experience. HSE gave us accommodation. We flew over there. I think it was just the best. And the best part of it is that you are able to communicate with other international students, not in English, not in French, not in your local language. We are communicating in Russian because people are coming from different places and we are speaking. I was glad to meet Ghanaians in Tomsk. Tomsk on the very day we arrived, we rested and then we went for an excursion. We went around Tomsk. We were given a tour about the history of the city. We visited how do we call it, museums, exhibitions before we even began the program. And at the conference on that day, the support was massive. The moment they mentioned HSC students, like, yeah, you could tell that we have a very good reputation in Russia. And it went well. Both of us got awarded. We came back to HSC and we found out that we've had one of the best experiences in Tomsk. It's a very cold city. We went in I think April, and when we went there, throughout the time we were there, it was still snowing. That's the nice part because we felt like we were going to miss out on the snow because Tomsk is known for its cold nature. But luckily for us, we got there, and even in April, it was snowing. And the interesting part of it is that regardless of the fact that it was snowing, the grass was still green. I was surprised. How is the grass still green even though it is snowing? But yes, that's the very interesting thing about Tomsk. You get to learn a lot about history in the city. And yeah, if you come to HSC, try as much as possible to sign up for the International Students Conference. Make your presentation in Russian language. It's very fun. It's very, very fun.